Chapter 4. The King of the World. And though the Lord give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner any more. But thine eye shall see thy teachers, and thine ears shall hear a word behind thee, saying, This is the way, walk ye in it. Isaiah chapter 30, 20 through 31. Press on, my warriors. Fear not the fray. We are the conquerors. Our voice obey. Sound loud the trumpet. Blast, happy and free. Tell of the day star that is destined to be. Harriet Augusta Curtis in Realms of the Living Dead, page 176. Beginning with chapter 4. In his remarkable book, Beasts, Men, and Gods, published in 1922, Dr. Ferdinand Orzechowski, formerly professor of chemistry and economical geography in the Polytechnic Institute of Petrograd, and later professor of chemistry at the Polish University at Warsaw, reports a prophecy given as far back as 1890 to the Hutuktu, abbot of the Narabanchi monastery in Mongolia, by the great unknown, who throughout Asia is called the King of the World. This prophecy described the conditions that were coming to humanity during the following 50 years, much of which was literally fulfilled during World War I, as follows. More and more people will forget their souls and care about their bodies. The greatest sin and corruption will reign on earth. The crowns of kings great and small will fall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There will be a terrible battle among all peoples, the world wars. The seas will become red. The earth and the bottom of the sea will be strewn with bones. Kingdoms will be scattered. Whole peoples will die. Hunger, disease, crimes unknown to law, never before seen in the world. The ancient roads will be covered with crowds, wandering from one place to the other. All the earth will be emptied. God will turn away from it, and over it there will be only night and death. Then I shall send a people, now unknown, which shall tear out the weeds of madness and vice with a strong hand, and I will lead those still remain faithful to the spirit of man in the fight against evil. They will found a new life on the earth, purified by the death of nations. We gave out a prophecy given to the order of Christian mystics by the same mysterious King of the world, which reads as follows. I see a great and devastating flame sweeping the world from east to west. A flame of fire, a flame of sword and famine and murder and bitterness and death. I see the people of the earth, each one with its hand lifted against its brother, each country seeking for its own, men dying and cursing God with every dying breath, and sowing the seed of new and more frightful flames. I see descending from on a high the mighty angel with the flaming sword, for only fire can purify hate. I see this flame of purification sweeping the earth from east to west, from the rising of the sun to the going down of the sun. 5 countries are left. The rest sink beneath the seas. 5 countries, 5 lands like fingers on a man's hand. 4 shall be great and 1 small. But out of the smallest there grows the greatest light. Then comes redemption. Then comes that which alone can make this world to be reborn once more human, like a babe laid in a manger, cradled in its mother's arms. I see a great mountain lifted up in the midst of the countries which are left, and from its top there radiates the light of the spiritual sun, and I see the remnants of mankind bathed in its radiance. Think not that any country in this broad world can escape. The flame sweeps onward and over. Only those who have the flame of the living Christ in their hearts shall survive. I speak, for this is my world. Into my hands it has been given. I stretch out my hand, and each finger represents a point of force, a place where the great living power of the sun has breathed into it the life fire which is immortal. Where are my children? They are dying. They are being murdered and starved. They are being scattered like sheep on the cold, bare mountaintops, homeless and friendless. For a time, I bow to the inevitable. I wait. I wait that a greater than I may read you the riddle of this dark star. The Adam and Eve story, written by Chan Thomas, gives great detail of the consequences of altering the magnetic and electrical fields of the earth in the first 2 pages of the very first chapter. And they read, with a rumble so low as to be inaudible, growing, throbbing, then fuming into a thundering roar, the earthquake starts. Only it's not like any earthquake in recorded history. In California, the mountains shake like ferns in a breeze. The mighty Pacific rears back and piles up into a mountain of water more than 2 miles high, then starts its race eastward. With the force of 1,000 armies, the wind attacks, ripping, shredding everything in its supersonic bombardment. The unbelievable mountain of Pacific seawater follows the wind eastward, burying Los Angeles and San Francisco as if they were nothing but grains of sand. Nothing but nothing stops the relentless, overwhelming onslaught of wind and ocean. Across the continent, the 1,000-mile-per-hour wind wreaks its unholy vengeance everywhere, mercilessly, unceasingly. Every living thing is ripped into shreds while being blown across the countryside, and the earthquake leaves no place untouched. In many places, the earth's molten sublayer breaks through and spreads a sea of white, hot liquid fire to add to the holocaust. Within 3 hours, the fantastic wall of water moves across the continent, burying the wind-ravaged land under 2 miles of seething water, coast to coast. In a fraction of a day, all vestiges of civilization are gone, and the great cities, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Chicago, Dallas, New York, are nothing but legends. Barely a stone is left where millions walked just a few hours before. A few lucky ones who managed to find shelter from the screaming wind on the lee side of Pikes Peak watched the sea of molten fire break through the quaking valleys below. The raging waters follow, piling higher and higher, steaming over the molten earth fire and rising almost to their feet.